time with family, staying active, doing what you love. We understand how important it is to live your best life, even as times are changing. At Holzer, we strive to help every patient achieve their best health during every stage of life. With more options for care through in-person and virtual visits, we are dedicated to providing you with excellent care every time. Live your best life with Holzer.
Opportunity by then Chief Roger Brandeberry to become the agency's first canine handler. That's something that I did from 2001 until I left to take office in 2017. Handled 2 canines. Spent some time as a plainclothes narcotics investigator. Received 2 promotions to the ranks of sergeant and lieutenant, and was very, very fortunate for the opportunities that were afforded to me and the guidance and leadership that I had, and that again made investments in me to make me and put me into a position where I felt confident to run for the office of sheriff.
You talk about being the canine officer, just to kind of take a short detour off onto that. Virago was the first one, correct?
Virago was the first, yes.
How important was being the canine handler for Virago? How important was that in your kind of getting a foothold in the community? People see, obviously there's a vehicle pulled over and they bring in the canine for the search or whatever, but the canine handler, it goes a lot further than that when it comes to community relations and things like that. How important was that in your career?
That was huge, and Virago was a very exceptional dog. Anybody that ever got to see him do a demonstration could see just how special he was. Not only was he special when it came to crime enforcement, but the public relations aspect that dog and his personality and the connections that we were able to make with our community, especially the youth in our community. I have people who still come up to me today who saw me do demonstrations with him when they were in preschool and now they're in adulthood, the impact that we were able to make on people's lives through that program was monumental. It was monumental for, I believe, our community, and obviously it was monumental for me.
So you are working in the city, you're a lieutenant, and you decide to run for sheriff.
I did.
What went into that decision?
A lot of prayer, a lot of talk with people who I looked up to, people who I valued their opinions, a lot of self-reflection. It was not something that I took lightly. Again, I analyzed my entire career and the opportunities and the things that I had been exposed to self-evaluate myself to see if I felt like I had the skills and the tools in my toolbox to make me an appropriate candidate and the leader of the Gallia County Sheriff's Office. And that was probably about a 1.5 to 2 year decision-making process before I ultimately decided that that was the decision that I wanted to make for my future and the future of Gallia County.
So once you become the sheriff and you can kind of reflect on the previous agencies and that experience, that 16 years or whatever it was going up to becoming sheriff, in that amount of time, what change? I mean, obviously a tremendous amount, whether it be technology or just society as a whole, but what kind of stands out as being a change that you see happened before you became sheriff?
I've experienced a lot of changes over my years in law enforcement. In law enforcement, just like any other industry, if we don't stay on the cutting edge and we don't stay up to date with training, technology, and things that are evolving within the community, we get left behind. So, I was probably one of the last generations to, I can remember when I first started working, it was about the time that I got my first cell phone. Mm-hmm. Now, if we don't have cell phones when we're in the field, we're hours and hours behind on working criminal investigations. So, we've really evolved in the law enforcement field from cell phones to mobile data terminals that are in our cars that give our guys real-time instant access to databases of crime sharing information, to cameras and the institution of body cameras and in-car cameras. And so, our industry, just like any other industry, has continued to evolve. And, I don't know, obviously, what law enforcement looked like a whole lot before I got here.
Right.
But I know the evolution of law enforcement over my 22 years. We've accomplished and attained a lot that is to the benefit of us and to the benefit of the public that we serve.
Oftentimes, you and I have talked, and I've seen you speak at different places, like the groundbreaking for the new jail, which we'll touch on in just a little bit. But you oftentimes talk about people, not necessarily even from this area, but people that you have leaned on from other agencies and things like that when it comes to, you need advice on something maybe you haven't faced before. And then again, at the local level, we have a new post commander at the Highway Patrol. Obviously, you came from the city, so you've had a years-long relationship with Chief Boyer. You've known him for a long time. How important are those connections, both here locally with whether it be the State Patrol or municipalities, or on top of that, other county sheriffs and things that you can reach out to? How important are those connections to what you do every day as a sheriff?
As important as all the resources are that we have at our fingertips throughout the law enforcement communities, two of our biggest assets are networking and relationships. Without networking and relationships with other law enforcement agencies and the public, we fail. You spoke about Chief Boyer. I can remember when I was a part-time dispatcher with the City of Gallia Police, I used to come in and ride along with Jeff, and so obviously we've got a long-standing relationship, which translates into a great working relationship between his staff at the police department and my staff at the sheriff's office. Jason Rowe, the new post commander at the State Patrol post, I've known for many, many years. Jason and I grew up both here in Gallia County around the same time frame, so I've known Jason for a long time, and I know what his integrity level and his professionalism brings to the State Patrol. And we're very, very fortunate with our State Patrol post here because we have a lot of local folks who come back here to Gallia County. The guy's a legend, but Barry Call just retired.
Gave me my first ticket.
Yeah, so
And I will tell you, it was a week after we went hunting. The mutual friends, we were hunting together, and the very next week he pulls me over. I'm headed to go golfing. He pulls me over, and it never even came up like that I had seen him a week prior. It was, you messed up. Here's your ticket. Shoot a good round.
Yeah, but when you've got guys like Barry Call who grew up here and continue to come back here to the patrol and make an investment in our community, one of the things that I'll say, our law enforcement community is interactive and as tightly knit now as it's ever been in my time in law enforcement. We drive different color cars and wear different uniforms, but we're all of the same mission and goal, and we work together daily. So.
And I think people realize, you talk about local people and different agencies. Another recent retiree, Kevin Tieford,
yes,
who was my basketball coach in church leagues, in high school, as a patrol sergeant here at the post, and went on to be the number 2 man in the whole entire Ohio State Highway Patrol. So,
yeah.
Gallia County rich in history when it comes to law enforcement, and it's good to see those agencies working together for the common good.
Very much so.
Since taking office, and you said this is your 5th year,
Yeah.
coming to an end here, you'll be ready to start your 6th year. What have been some things that maybe you've had happen, not necessarily events, but just things that maybe you didn't realize maybe were as big a part of the job as what they are?
Yeah, so the office of sheriff is huge when you look at it from the outside looking in. If you look at all the moving parts that go into it, we're obviously we're responsible for the primary purpose that our citizens see on a daily basis, which is patrolling our streets and roads and conducting the investigations that occur out in the field. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't even realize that we're responsible for. We operate the Gallia County Jail, and that's an old facility, and we're very thankful that we're moving towards progress in that. But the inmate movement, the responsibility of the sheriff to make sure that those inmates are present before the courts for their hearings. The service of papers, we're responsible for the service of all subpoenas and summonses for individuals throughout the county or out of county to appear before the courts. The sheriff sales, anytime there's a tax sale of a property, that obviously runs through my office, and we bear that responsibility. Concealed carry of handguns and background checks. All of that runs through our office. So, we're not just the folks out driving the black and yellow cars around the street. There's a lot that comes out of the sheriff's office that most people don't realize occurs on a day-to-day basis.
You talked about the jail and the new jail project that's going on. As people drive down First, Second, Locust, numerous streets, you can see the project taking place. It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about what people can expect with the new jail, and then we've also had some new news since Friday.
Yes. So we're very proud of the efforts that we're making. The backbone of the Gallia County Sheriff's Office, so to speak, is the jail. Obviously, without a jail, our patrol officers and our investigative staff can't work effectively and efficiently if we don't have a place to house the folks that need housed. So to transition from a 22-bed facility that is in excess of 50 years old, that doesn't meet the standards of what we need it to meet today for the amount of population and the amount of situations that we need to deal with, to be able to transition into a new 120-bed facility that will be conducive to the work of our staff and conducive to the folks that we need to house there is huge. We're putting a lot of focus on, number one, making sure we've got enough space. Number two, as we all know, we're plagued by a vast amount of substance abuse and mental health issues throughout not just Gallia County, but just throughout the the nation, and it's a huge Achilles heel of our society today. So as we move forward, one of the things that a lot of the good things that are happening in Gallia County is we now have resources. We have mental health and substance abuse counselors and facilities that are available to us, and a lot of good people here in Gallia County doing great things as it pertains to those two fields. But when we bring them into the jail, we don't really right now have the ability to provide the services that we have at our fingertips. So with this new jail, we'll be afforded those opportunities to make sure that the folks that are within our care and custody can receive better resources, better treatment, and hopefully become better members of our communities.
So the news came out on Friday, $5.5 million, I believe, in state funding to put toward the jail project. Obviously, that's a lot of money.
That is.
Did you first? I guess did you expect it? And secondly, how big of a deal is that when it comes to Gallia County?
I don't want to say that I expected it, but what I can tell you is that when we found out that this money was going to come available through the capital line of the budget, we began having conversations very early. We were, of the 6 organizations or 6 counties that are receiving this funding, I think that we're pretty much the only one that's under construction now. And so we got in early, and the team at the commissioner's office and the team at my office spent countless hours doing research, preparing the application for that funding. We knew that $5.5 million that we were asking for would be a huge relief and cut a lot of the strain on the county budget, and would be a huge benefit to what we're able to do for the folks here in Gallia County.
And I'm going to guess that 2 people who had a big part in this would be Jason Stevens and Bob Peterson.
That is a very accurate guess. Jason Stevens and Bob Peterson, State Representative Peterson, and Senator
Peterson.
Senator Peterson, State Representative Stevens, played a big role in that for us. And both of those gentlemen have been very, very good to our area. They never forget about us. We consider them good friends of ours, and they work hard for us every day.
Jason did a ride along with you guys, did he?
Jason did a ride along.
I thought so.
That can actually be found on our Facebook page. Jason, is unfortunately no longer our state representative since they've redistricted. But still a friend of Gallia County, and he came out and enjoyed a day of riding with our staff.
He was a tremendous asset for us, and his wife continues to be a tremendous asset for us as well, working with Congressman Johnson's office.
Julie is wonderful. Julie keeps Jason in line, I think.
I think so too. What would you say, looking at the current state of Gallia County, what is the number one issue that citizens face right now that you see while your team is out, on patrol and doing these investigations things? Is there a trend or something that is the most concerning maybe for you, for the citizens?
Not just specifically one issue. I think we all know that we still are affected by the drug epidemic. Mental health plays a major role, and most of the times mental health and substance abuse are on a collision course with the people that we deal with. Most people that have substance abuse have mental health, and a lot of people who have mental health issues also have substance abuse issues. So, that is what we continue to do battle with every day. That's our focus. A lot of our property crimes and our violent crimes and so forth, that is the root of those evils. So we continue to focus on those. That's where our enforcement efforts lie. Obviously, we have other things that we have to focus on as well, but we dump a vast amount of our time, energy, and resources into focusing on the drug trade, making sure that we're working diligently to eliminate it. And more than anything, our goal has and will always be to make sure that the drug dealers that are coming to us or trying to come to us from the bigger cities understand that this is not a comfortable place where they can come and victimize our citizens. And, that's not just my office. That's my office working in conjunction with prosecuting attorney Jason Holdren's office to hold people accountable, and ultimately ending with the court system with Judge Margaret Evans, who is a phenomenal judge, and she is very effective in her role as a judge.
If someone listening, or maybe child of someone listening, is looking for a career in law enforcement, what is the need right now, and what would be your suggestion if somebody wanted to follow law enforcement as a career path?
The need for good law enforcement officers today is now more than ever. A lot of people, based on the national sentiment and the things that we see going on, and I don't even want to run down that rabbit trail, but the things that I'll tell you is things are different here in Gallia County. We feel very strongly that our community loves us and we love them back. We don't just come out here every day and put our uniform on and walk away from our community when we get done at the end of the day. We are involved civically through several different projects. We're involved intimately with our schools, with our Handle with Care program, where we're actually going into the schools and spending time with the kids. So law enforcement's different now than it has ever been. It's more community-based. It's more public relations as much as it is crime fighting. But we now more than ever need good cops, good men and women who want to wear the uniform, who ultimately want to make a difference in their communities. It's not just about kicking down doors and arresting bad guys. It's being a part of the community, being in tune with the community, and just having those relationships that we're building now that are going to pay dividends later. So, we've got some testing coming up for our office. We're actually giving an entrance examination on November the 13th, I believe it is. That can be found on our Facebook page. If there's anybody in our area that's peace officer certified, that's been through an academy and would like to apply, we'd love to have them. We also know moving forward with our new jail that we're going to increase some of our staffing, so we're accepting applications for our corrections positions. Those can be found on our website, galliasheriff.org. We're looking for good people to become strong parts of our team.
If that person wants to be, or maybe just hasn't went through the academy yet, any suggestion to them, kind of the steps they should take in order to be in a position to join into a law enforcement team in the future?
Sure. If we're talking young kids that are still in school, stay involved, get involved in civic organizations through your school. Understand now more than ever the things that you do and say on social media are going to affect you for years and years to come, no matter whether if you're going to be a cop or if you're going to be a doctor. Those things will follow you. So make good decisions. Educate yourself well. Again, a large part of our job now is technology, so focus on technology and those advancements, and come see us. Pick up the phone and give us a call if there's folks that are interested in a career that want to see what it looks like. We give those opportunities for ride-alongs and some shadowing opportunities, so we're interested in having conversations with those people.
You talk about the community involvement and getting out and the programs with the schools. I, for one, want to commend you. I know that with, as you said, the societal outlook in some areas, whether you're in bigger cities or throughout the country, is a little different than here. But here, you're in the schools. Your kids went to the same school mine goes to, so I would see you at every All-Star Dad or, whatever the case may be, the Fall Festival, back when we had those and all that kind of stuff. But you are actively, and not just you, but your team, and it goes the same for, Jeff at the city and all of that. You're showing kids that it's okay to go talk to a person in uniform when there's something wrong.
Absolutely.
That they're there to be trusted, and they're there for you, not against you. And I think that is a big thing in not only changing the societal outlook on law enforcement by starting at the ground level before kids can be influenced and allowing them to form their opinion at a young age as to what law enforcement does. But I really want people to to keep an eye out and just see what your team is doing. And again, other agencies as well, but you're the one that's here today. So, but your agency is out doing you're doing the hat drive at collecting money to put toward different things throughout the community. You even, for example, I was driving out 160. It's been 2 or 3 weeks ago, and Chad Wallace was directing traffic coming out of River Valley's driveway there on 160, and it's been a while back, so it was warm. So it's been a month or two. He's out there, smile on his face. Doesn't matter whether he knew the person in the car coming at him or not, but waving at the kids as they pull out and things like that. And it's not just him. You see it with the stories you posted about, I believe it was pumpkins. Different things that you're not giving an order, so to speak, to your deputies that you need to do this. This would be a great PR move for us if you would do this. This is people taking it upon themselves to make their community a better place through their position.
Yeah, I would agree. One of the things that I can't say enough of, from top to bottom and inside out with my organization, the term heart of service. Everyone in our organization has a heart of service for our public. You referred to the pumpkins. That was our corrections team. Lieutenant Chris Gruber is the jail commander of the jail, and the chemistry and the want to do outreach from our corrections staff for our community is huge. We have as I referred to it before, we have the Handle with Care program, which we are kind of a leader around the state of Ohio. It's kind of a new program, and we've kind of championed it with Amy Sisson from Survivor Services here in Gallia County. But essentially what it is it's a notification program, so that if there's a traumatic event with a child, our schools don't know a whole lot. They just know to take care of that kiddo when they come to school the next day and to look for anything. But part of that program is us going out and I call it disrupting the lunchrooms, but the teachers love it when we come in, and the students love it, and quite frankly, our folks love it. We like to get out and interact with the kids and have a good time. It breaks, we see a lot of bad. We get to see everybody at their worst, and everybody's got junk in their lives, and usually that's when we see them. So to be able to get out and interact with the kiddos when they're on the playground or in the lunchroom and see them smile and give them fist bumps and just enjoy a little bit of time, that makes an impact on their lives, and it also makes an impact on our lives, but those are the things, as we see the national picture of law enforcement and how bad I'll just call it a blistering we're taking all over the United States is. Our perspective is we're not going to lay down for that, and we'll watch that off in the distance, but we're going to set the stage here in Gallia County for how our citizens receive us. And I think our citizens receive us as the genuine people that want to make an impact on lives that we are.
Well, you're doing a tremendous job, and I told my daughter yesterday that you were going to be on the podcast, and I just referred to you as the sheriff, and she said, "Well, what time is Matt coming in?" And she just, she knows who you are if she sees you, and it's not just because you and I have known each other for so long, but she knows what you do and what your team does, and she doesn't look at it in any negative light. She's excited to see you guys when you're out and about, and she has a little smile on her face if we meet up in the park or something and see you or whatever. So you're doing a tremendous job. Your team is to be commended.
Well, I appreciate that.
They're really making a really positive impact, and we appreciate you coming in. This half hour went speeding by.
It was a good time. I appreciate you having it.
We appreciate you coming, and we'll remind folks you can listen each and every week to the podcast on Facebook on Fridays, or you can tune in Sunday mornings to 93.1 during the 8 o'clock hour and hear us there as well. Until next week, thanks for tuning in to the Talk of the Town. We'll see you next time.